I'm Jonathan Rowe. Some people may know me as John or Johnny Rowe, and I play for Norwich City.
What are your earliest memories of playing football?
Probably at my school back in Wembley, called Lion Park Junior School. Just playing in tournaments in the local area, just kicking around balls of socks in my house back at Wembley. So yeah, I think that's probably the first memory I got.
How close was that to Wembley Stadium?
I could actually see it from my back garden. We had like a trampoline at some point, so every time I'd be jumping up on it, I could just see the arch in the background. Probably about 5-10 minutes away from my house, so yeah.
Who was your hero growing up?
I'm a bit different with that. I don't really have a hero, but obviously I've seen all the greats like Ronaldo, Messi, in my generation, Hazard, Neymar, all them type of entertaining players. It kind of made me want to be one of those type of players, but in my own way.
You were 11 when you signed with Norwich. What was going through your head at that moment?
Not a lot. I was still young, but I had to come up to Norwich on my own pretty early. So it kind of made me grow up a bit earlier and kind of mature a bit earlier than a lot of my friends. Yeah, I just wanted to play football. My passion, I don't know where it stems from, but my passion's always been just getting on the ball, and you know, that's where my happiness comes from.
And were there any other clubs that were sort of interested in you at that particular time?
Yeah, obviously I was playing for my local AFC Wembley Sunday League team. We used to go to tournaments at different clubs, like Fulham for example, and there was a bit of interest, but I didn't really know much. It sounds kind of stupid, but I didn't really know much about football at the time. So once Norwich kind of told me that if I come to Norwich, then I'll be playing football basically almost every day, my eyes just lit up, and I was like, yeah, I'll just go with Norwich because they're the first people that actually recognise me. So yeah, I've been loyal ever since.
You made your debut for Norwich in December 2021, playing the final 22 minutes of a 3-0 defeat to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. What are your core memories of that day?
I remember that my heart just felt heavy as soon as I see the gaffer give me the nod, and everyone was just prepping me up and getting me motivated to come on. And it just felt like my dreams were just about to come true. And then I remember walking up to stand next to the manager just before coming on, and I looked up, and you know in the Premier League the lights are a bit brighter than the Championship, and it just felt like I was literally in a movie, and like all the cameras are on me, and it was oh wow. I genuinely, it just gets me gassed even speaking about it. Yeah, I just remember coming on, it was just like a sigh of relief where it's just like, yeah. Obviously I haven't made it, but I've become part of that small percentage of like young kids with a dream from my area or just around the world, finally fulfilling their potential and their dreams.
In your first few months as a professional footballer, you played at Anfield, you played at Ellen Road, you played at Old Trafford. Was there any particular ground that stood out to you?
To be fair, them three are probably the main ones that stood out to me, because obviously Anfield is Anfield, right? It was a fortress. It is, well, obviously not recently, but it's been a fortress for the last few years, and you know that club has a lot of weight. Old Trafford was just huge. Ellen Road had the most noise that I can remember. That was a crazy game. Even though we lost, I was in awe of like the atmosphere. I couldn't believe this is what my dream is literally about. Even though we lost, it was just like, wow. Imagine being on the opposite side to that. I feel like that's a feeling that I always chase. And those type of moments, they kind of keep you motivated and hungry for trying to make yourself feel that emotion yourself in the future.
You provided an assist for Timo Pukki in a 3-1 defeat to Brentford. An assist in the Premier League as an 18-year-old. How special was that? Yeah,
obviously I was a bit younger than I am now. I'm still young, but I was a bit younger. When you produce moments like that, it kind of gives you a bit more respect, you know, from teammates, from staff, from just general fans around the world. I just thought, you know what, if that's what it takes, then I need to keep building on that. And that's always been my mindset. Unfortunately,
Norwich were relegated at the end of that season. What do you think was the main reason behind that?
There was a lot of things, man. A lot of things. Obviously, I came into the fold, into the first team setup halfway through it. So I already missed out on a lot of negative and positive moments. I just feel like we kind of lost a bit of belief towards the end of the season. Obviously, everyone thinks we're a Yoyo Club, and you know, I think the pressure kind of just got to us a bit, you know. So I think the boys kind of learned from that though, and I feel like we have plans to change that.
Is that something you guys as a squad are quite determined to change, getting back to the Premier League, ending that reputation as a Yo-Yo Club?
Yeah, I think the fans deserve us to kind of stay up and kind of compete more with all these other teams. It's hard though, Obviously, financially, it's difficult, you know. We're not really a team that has a lot of money. We just got to kind of deal with what we have. But I think everyone, staff, players, we all have the same mindset.
Unfortunately, you missed the vast majority of last season with injury. Which other Norwich players helped you the most through that period?
The first one that comes to mind is Ben Gibson. He helps me out. He's very selfless at times and very caring. I remember Isaac Hayden when he was here. We were injured together, so we went through a lot. And I still talk to him now, so he's a great guy as well.
And after missing so much football last year, you scored in your first 4 games of this season. You were voted Young Player of the Month. Did you actually find it as easy as you made it look to get back to your best so quickly?
I've always been a confident guy. I've always known what I can achieve and what I'm capable of. You know, I know my own ability, and it's just about getting an opportunity to show it. I had to make a plan coming off the back of this season, you know, because after my breakthrough in the Prem, I think over the summer I did way too much, which led to my first injury. It was a stress fracture because I didn't give myself rest. I was too overly motivated. And this pre-season, I kind of made a plan around how I can come back the way I want to come back. Yeah, I just stuck to the plan, did a bit extra when I felt like it was right to do extra. There was a bit of it's like a fire lit up inside my belly, and it's still there now. It's just, I had something to show to the world, you know. I felt like I had to make up for some lost time, and I think that all just let loose in that first month.
How would you describe your playing style in 3 words?
Direct, tenacious. I'm in between diligent and entertaining.
Both can work?
Yeah, both of them. Let's chuck both of them in.
You scored twice at Ipswich away. What was that like?
Probably one of the best moments of my professional career so far. Obviously, I knew what it meant to the fans. I knew the build-up that got me excited, and I think it got the fans excited. And then to actually produce in that match, it was a sigh of relief. Especially the way I was playing. It wasn't the greatest performance, other than scoring, obviously. But I realised that goals are the things that change games, and you know, if I can do that for the team, then I'm more than happy to play bad and you produce the goals. So yeah, that was a great feeling.
And what's the atmosphere like in an East Anglia derby?
Never seen anything like it. Yeah, I think just rivalries in general, when 2 teams got a lot on the line, you know, like pride, honour. It's more interesting for me to see the fear on some of the opponents' faces. I think I kind of enjoy that, and I like to say I'm one of them players that kind of relish them type of moments and kind of embrace the pressure.
Well, you had an amazing season. You were nominated for the 2024 Championship Young Player of the Year. Congratulations, alongside Archie Gray and Jordan James. How did you react when you found out the news?
Funny enough, my sports scientist, Glenn Lewis, when we were doing the pre-season stuff, well, before the pre-season stuff in the off-season, I did a bit of extra with him. And he said, you could be Young Player of the Season, you know. And then look, I get nominated, and then it was just it was a real moment where I kind of just reminisced on that moment. And it was just, yeah, it was wicked, man. Congrats to Archie, obviously, he won, and obviously congrats to Jordan James for getting nominated. They've had good seasons, man. Obviously, I hope they have many more good seasons as well, along with myself, and it makes for a good competition.
In October, you received your first call-up to the England under-21s. You scored on your debut against Ukraine. Who do you enjoy playing with the most at that level?
There's one moment I remember. It's just before I scored, actually. I think because it was a bit of a massacre. It ended 9-1. We scored a goal. We were going back to the touchline, and I was speaking to Harvey Elliott. I told him, get me a goal in like a jokey way, right? And he laughed and he said, what foot are you? So I said, both. He was like, all right, I'll put it in your head then. And then next thing you know, he crosses it, and I literally just head it in. And I'm like, this guy, that was a proper like wicked moment.
How did it feel being linked with Tottenham this season?
Well, I'm an Arsenal fan, so it didn't really appeal to me as much. But I guess that's better than being linked with Ipswich.
So is it sort of thing where you just would never play for Spurs?
I wouldn't say never, because in football I never rule out anything, but it would take a lot to... I don't even know why I'm saying this, but... Yeah, that one, I'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Yeah.
Which players, either past or present, would you describe your game sort of matches stylistically?
Just any tricky winger, I guess. Any entertaining winger that you can think of.
Is there anyone that in the past you went, I want to play like them? They're my sort of ambition.
Obviously, I'm still young, so I don't really know too much about the older legends and stuff like that. Obviously, you hear about them, but I haven't actually seen it with my own eyes on like Messi, Ronaldo. I've seen them do crazy stuff and that. Even playing against Ronaldo at Old Trafford, seeing it firsthand on the pitch, it was just like, this is real life. It's not just what I see on the TV. So, especially when I was younger, that kind of motivated me as well to kind of be a bit like him, I guess.
What has been the biggest challenge of playing in the Championship?
Having to move on to the next game so quick after like a bad result, trying to shift the momentum back on your side, because the games come thick and fast and every game's different, you don't know what to expect. Being mentally and physically prepared for the games, like it is. Sometimes you go into games knackered, but you still want to play, obviously. You want to get that winning feeling back, but it's tough. So I think that'd probably be the biggest challenge, shifting the momentum.
What do you think about your FC24 rating?
I think this is my first time being involved properly, having a character in a football game. So it was a privilege at first, but then I saw my rating, I was thinking, I must have not done enough yet to kind of earn that respect I was talking about earlier. Hopefully next year, I can go up quite significantly so that my friends can use it on the Ultimate Team and I can use it myself without having to use me as like a super sub just because it's myself, innit? But yeah, man, a couple of stats.
Yeah,
Pace,
I was
alright.
gonna say, which part of your rating would you try and improve the most?
I think I'm stronger than that. I'd like to think I'm stronger than that. I think I've kind of proven that I can score a few goals, so I think the sheen's got to go up. Passing, I barely pass anyways, so, and dribbling. Everything, man. Everything, man. I think without saying too much, everything's kind of got to go up.
What do you want your rating to be next year?
Ideally, and realistically, I like to hit 80. I would like to hit 80. I know that is a massive jump, but I think I'd take high 70s. But I'd like to see an 8 at the start of this for next year.
And what would be your dream rating at some stage in your career?
99, bro. I want to get the highest. Actually, no, 100 actually. No one's ever got 100 cards. If they're listening, 100 please.